Well, I think the first thing that's important is to kind of characterize the type of boat on which the accident happened. There are things like cruise ship injuries. For example, you go out on a Carnival cruise or Holland America cruise, and there's an injury that's suffered while you're on one of these commercial cruise lines. And what's important to know with respect to those type of claims is that as part of your ticket that you obtain before going on the ship, there will be certain provisions clearly set forth within your ticket. And these tickets are usually multi-page, and they cover many, many subjects. But if you look through your ticket, either before or after an injury, you'll find out that these tickets provide that generally you have to give written notice of your injury, usually within 180 days of the date of the injury, setting forth specifically what happened and also your injuries and your treatment. The other thing it's important to know is that generally, if your claim cannot be resolved amicably, that suit has to be filed in a particular location that is also set forth in the ticket. For example, on a Carnival cruise line, suit has to be filed in Miami, usually in federal court. For Holland America, as an example, suit has to be filed in Seattle in federal court. So even though you may be taking a cruise out of, say, Tampa, you leave and return to Tampa, your suit actually has to be filed in the Southern District, U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida in Miami. The same rules apply to cruise ship slip and falls, if you will, or trip and falls, and that is you have to prove some negligence, some carelessness on the part of the cruise line. And so it's very important when an accident does happen on a cruise ship that, first of all, if it's applicable, take photographs. What caused you to fall? Make a mental note. Get names of witnesses, both maybe individual or innocent bystanders who might also be passengers. Get the names of any crew members that came to your assistance, that cleaned up anything. Make sure you get their names. As I said, you can even take photographs of these individuals. If you make out a report, try to get a copy of the report, and see an attorney very quickly after you return, because you need to get the facts together, the individuals together, witnesses and things like that, and to put together the letter to send to the cruise line. And in addition to that, you'll need that attorney to be able to put together a complaint or associate with an attorney that practices in the particular venue where suit has to be filed, so that you can meet that very short statute of limitations. Normally the statute of limitations, at least here in Florida, is 4 years. But on a cruise ship, statute of limitations is 1 year. So a lot of people think, well, it's just a standard slip and fall case, and they will not file within the 1 year statute of limitations, or they won't give the 180-day written notice, and that will jeopardize and sometimes block you from filing a claim for a fall on a cruise ship. Now, with respect to an injury on a small pleasure boat, the first question one has to ask is this accident an accident that's subject to maritime or admiralty jurisdiction? And that's going to first concern itself with whether or not that boat was on a navigable water, a water on which commercial transactions, traffic, interstate commerce can be conducted. If there's a small, for example, small lake, admiralty and maritime jurisdiction will likely not apply, and that case can be filed in the state court. However, if the accident happens on a navigable water, one capable of interstate commerce, then you're going to have admiralty or maritime jurisdiction, and you'll find yourself very likely in federal court. And again, the same thing applies. You're going to need to prove the negligence. Sometimes you can prove what's called the unseaworthiness of the vessel, but you're going to need to do the same things, and that's take photographs, make notes, get witnesses' information, get crew members' information, get a copy of your report. Again, photographs. Very important to document it, because once you're off that cruise, a lot of the information disappears. So those are some of the things about injuries on boats or cruise lines that's very important to remember. And most importantly, see an attorney promptly after you've received your any emergency medical condition. Contact an attorney and provide him the information that you've obtained.